Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and the first thing I want to show you today is, by the way, before I get going, I wanted to tell you about my 15-year-old. My 15-year-old, so my wife, we get back from a trip, we went to St. Simon's just 2 or 3 days ago. We get back. My 15-year-old, now these are kids that have been raised right. These are kids that know what they're supposed to do. They've been raised to do all the right stuff. My 15-year-old, we realized that his bag with his shaving kit or whatever that has his toothbrush in the thing has been in our room for the last 2 or 3 days. So I just stopped him just now. I said, what is it that you are... How have you been brushing your teeth since we got back if your shaving kit is in my room? And I get this dumb look on his face and a bunch of mumbo jumbo, but I think that the deduction is that this kid had not brushed his teeth for at least a couple of days, 1 or 2 in a row, and thought that was okay. Now this is a kid we've ridden since he was little about basic stuff like this. Every time I think that these kids are thinking, they're not. It's like, golly, frustrating. All right. James Rule XRP, all right, sent me this. Now, why on earth that CNBC keeps putting this guy on, I don't understand. But the thing I don't understand even more is, how do you keep having Jay Clayton on without asking him the obvious thing that you would be doing if you were a journalist? Like, Jay, what do you think about... You remember the company that you filed a lawsuit from when you were at the SEC, and then the very next day you quit so that you don't have any responsibility to answer for anything? What do you think about that right now? How do you think about how that was protecting investors out here, which was your core job there? Who did you protect exactly there, Jay? The fact that CNBC doesn't ask these journalistic questions tells you all about who they are now. It's not about journalism anymore. It's about carrying a narrative. The question is, who are they carrying it for? That's the question. All right, so listen to
the Wall Street Journal, which cites some SEC records. The regulators have apparently told Tesla that it failed to oversee those Elon Musk tweets, violating a court-ordered policy brokered after Tesla and Musk settled a case with the SEC that you oversaw back in 2018. What do you think?
Well, Andrew, you know I'm not going to comment on a specific case or settlement, but what we are seeing with social media and these communications is the ability of what I would say is a very short piece of information, a small piece of the overall mosaic, move markets. And, you know, as just a person who looks at markets, that's
enough of that. I can't even listen to the guy. So this guy disgusts me so bad. All right, the next clip I want you to hear. This is Jeremy Alaire from Circle, who's on CNBC.
A couple things going on here. One, Dogecoin.
And by the way, they're talking about that stupid Dogecoin again. XRP, they've actually kept as being right on here. It doesn't say Ripple anymore.
Sort of greenlit, if you will, into Coinbase for at least professional traders right now. You have had the price of Bitcoin come down quite dramatically. Ether as well, though now people think that maybe Ether is going to outpace Bitcoin. Let's talk Bitcoin first. What do you make of what's happened and where it stands right now?
I mean, I think at a very high level, obviously, these kind of crypto assets have grown very significantly. Everyone knows, how significantly they've grown. I think there's wide acceptance that these are here to stay. And these sort of major assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum and so on had a lot of participation and investment into them. And so anytime there's, that kind of growth in that kind of speed, and then there's negative news, you obviously see pullbacks in that.
But in terms of the value, when you look at the value of Bitcoin today in the 30s, the 30,000s now, do you say to yourself, this is a cheap buy because you're a long?
All right, enough of that too, and I'll tell you why. This guy is carrying a narrative, just like Jay Clayton's carrying a narrative, and just like CNBC's carrying a narrative. They're carrying the false narrative that is that Bitcoin and Ethereum proof of work is somehow going to go on and change the financial world. When they know, this guy literally put his stable coin on Stellar because he knows. This guy, he does know. The only legit digital asset in this freaking list is the one that's not proof of work, and that is XRP. These guys know it too. Trust me, they know it, they know it, they know it. Okay? Because these have defects that have to be overcome, and they know this. So you know that they're carrying this narrative. If people were being straightforward and honest in this whole digital asset game, they would have people like Charles Hoskinson on telling them the real truth, which I'm going to show you in a second. All these guys are talking about is Bitcoin, Dogcoin, and Ethereum, and maybe Litecoin every once in a while, when those are the digital assets that are garbage, and they know it. I'm telling you, they know it. I can't prove to you they know it. I can just show you all the things around it that show you that these are not the ones that are going to change the financial system. These are not dumb people. I've never said they're dumb people, but they're carrying a narrative and they're doing it for a reason. This right here, this is bullcrap. This is garbage you're watching. This Elon Musk is trying to tweak things more with a stupid picture, Dogcoin and all this. But this is truth right here. Listen to what Charles Hoskinson, he's one of my favorite, he's one of the only people that's being honest in this industry. The next 10 years is what I called this. This is a clip from his video from, I think, yesterday.
Over the next 10 years, there's going to be more advancement in monetary policy from our industry than the last 100 years of central banks. In the next 10 years, there's going to be more advancement on financial engineering, the construction of financial products, and the marketplaces upon which trade them than the last 100 years from Wall Street and England and Tokyo and all the other places in the world combined. In the next 10 years, there's going to be more movement of wealth 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on crypto rails than there will be through the BIS and through the fixed protocols and all these other things that are the mainstay staples of the financial world. The next 10 years, there's going to be more automation and innovation and open law and automated law and regulation in our industry than the last 100 years of transnational agreements that have occurred. In the next 10 years, the next 2 billion people who enter the world financial system, the vast majority of those people will be brought into our system from the cryptocurrency space. That's where we're at. That's what our industry is about. This is why there are so many incredible people who are in this industry working incredibly hard every single day.
All right, this guy is laying it down. I thought this was funny. I see secret X on the door. Charles definitely signaling XRP. He's talking about this X over here. Charles Hoskinson, for those of you that don't know, is the creator of Cardano ADA. I'm a big fan of him, and I'm also I'm thinking about loading the boat with Cardano myself. Okay, now I also want you to see, this is the guy that they should have on CNBC. They're not wanting the real truth to be seen. If they did, they would have guys like this on, and he would be saying things like this, telling truth like this.
We're going to change the world. It's just that simple. We didn't ask permission. We came here and we're going to get it done together. And there's simply too many people now. The markets are simply too large. The innovation is simply too vast. It's going to happen. It's no longer a question of if, it's when, and how will these dinosaurs find a way to survive in this new order? I hear a lot about New World Order. Well, guess what? There is one, and it's us. We're changing it all. We're making it a better place.
I thought that was great. Okay, I wanted to show you this. This is, I'm not going to play the video, but this is from Bank XRP. Happy birthday, XRP. On June 2nd, 2012, Arthur Britto created 100 billion XRP, then called XNS, and he's retweeting this old Joel Katz tweet. Here's Arthur's code that created the 100 billion XRP. then called XNS, on June 2nd, 2012, the birth date of XRP. Yes, this shows a code push, but was obviously used GitHub history that shows how many times are contributed and executed every day. I thought Jed McCaleb was the creator of XRP. That's my first thought when I see that. Okay, XRP vet diamonds to the Quantfy Sky had put this, sent this to me. The ransomware attack is the second recent example of how quickly critical U.S. businesses can be disrupted, sparking subsequent questions about the vulnerability of the system. This is about this hack of I think it's the largest, I read somewhere that it was the largest meat distributor or something. And then, of course, a month or so ago, we had this where the Colonial Pipeline. You have to ask yourself if these are all just coincidences that you're having these major hacks against these centralized infrastructures right in the middle of our world becoming, with a push to become decentralized. You have to wonder if all this is a coincidence. I wonder. Okay, XRP Bart sent me this one. Mark Carney, climate risk management has come leaps and bounds since Paris. I wanted to get you down to this right here. This is Mark Carney, who's on the board of Stripe, which was an original investor in Stellar, Stellar XLM does not have an energy problem like proof of work does. Secure mandatory disclosures by companies of climate risks based on the FSB recommendations. The private sector has been doing its part. Over 1,500 firms. So anyway, they're making it very clear that they're going to focus on companies and make sure that companies are looking at climate risk. So you have to ask yourself this question, and it came up first with Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank. Here it is.
I am using it as a hedge. I'm considering it as property, and I think it acts that way. I mean, it is volatile. There's no question about it. There is a big problem brewing in this space because I've mentioned this a couple of times. When I disclosed that I was moving to 3% weighting, I got a mountain of calls from institutional investors saying, wait a second, where are those coins from? And I said, well, I mean, everybody knows you can tell the time of creation, but you can't tell location of creation. Because currently 60% of coins mined in Bitcoin come from China, where they don't care about sustainability, and they certainly have issues around human rights. And so there are many institutional clients that do not want to own so-called blood coin from China. And as a result...
So you could hear him starting this whole narrative back then. I believe this guy knows people. I believe he knows where this is all going behind the scenes. And I think that he knew something way back on May 3rd, okay? And so you can see this narrative, and I'm telling you, it's gonna head to a carbon tax. These people are gonna do some kind of carbon tax on proof of work on a global scale. Michelle Vandenberg, this is just my opinion. Michelle Vandenberg sent me this from Matthew Line. I Standard Chartered to launch institutional crypto exchange. The exchange is expected to initiate service by the fourth quarter of 2021. Standard Chartered is a seed investor in Ripple. And it reminded me that it's a good thing Kahina Van Dyke is a node on the network away. And we know that she is because she went to Standard Chartered, and Brad Garlinghouse congratulated her and said, we're glad you'll only be a node on the network away. Standard Chartered. And finally, wanted to show you this. This week is the Bitcoin 2021 conference in Miami. It says, this is from them, we're thrilled Playboy will be showcasing their first collection of animated NFTs at Bitcoin 2021. I can pretty much promise you that these NFTs will be sold out. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that you can now get Playboy NFTs starting at this Bitcoin 2021 conference. Thanks for listening.